What up? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing a shoulders dumbbell only workout. You guys asked for it, you shall receive. Let's get into it. Dumbbell only shoulder workout. I put this together to make sure that every exercise would emphasize the most amount of muscle hypertrophy in that length and contraction, which is the bottom here, as well as making it as difficult as possible at that peak shortened contraction, which is the top. Again, a couple of cues, guys. When we're pushing ourselves into the ground. You can see both of our tempo and how we're letting it float on the way down in that nice stretch at the bottom. I want you to envision on the way down, you're pulling an elastic back slowly. And then at the bottom, you're releasing it, then riding that elasticity or that contraction on the way to the top to help squeeze at the top. This is gonna allow us to get the most amount of blood into that muscle. It's gonna give us the most amount of tension onto the muscle, right? So as we're working our way up, you can see I'm letting it float on the way down, right? We're not letting it drop, then pushing it up. You can see that there's complete control. It's almost like you think about doing a pull-up. Imagine you were doing a pull-up, right? You're pushing yourself down, you're pulling yourself up, and you're pushing yourself down. That's the things I think about when I'm lifting. You can see the same posture I have in my chest is the same posture I would have if I was actually doing a pull-up. So just think of those cues when you're lifting, right? You can see both of our attention is in the mirror. I'm staring at myself in the mirror. I'm staring at the way my chest looks, the way my shoulders look, the way my triceps look, the way each side looks, right to left, left to right. I'm using that as a gauge to make sure that everything stays consistent on both sides. Now you can see the next angle here. We're gonna go from the side. A good thing to watch is my setup, right? Sitting myself down, planting my feet. I'm gonna kick one up one at a time, get myself set first, and then we're gonna push, right? I'm not pushing the weight up until I am completely set. And then the only thing moving here is my shoulders. From floor to core, I am complete and utterly still. I'm using the ground as leverage. I'm pushing into the floor, pushing my butt into the back of the bench, and that, I would say, connection from the ground is going all the way up through my fingertips. So at the bottom, you can see, if you watch my legs, I'm slightly pushing myself up. And that's helping me control the weight down. Again, that elastic being pulled slightly and then releasing on the way up. That's basically what I'm doing. I'm thinking about pulling elastic and then releasing. Pulling elastic back and then releasing and riding that contraction to the top. And as reps get harder, you don't see me speed up. I slow down to make sure that I get these reps complete. I want to milk these reps. Now, next exercise, again, this is another way that we can cause, tension, the most amount of tension at the bottom of the lift. Because again, if we're standing up straight using dumbbells, there's not any tension at the bottom. And then the tension is not really going to start until we start actually doing the lateral raise itself. So doing these, lying down with a slight incline is going to give us some more tension at the bottom of the lift. We're getting a little bit more, delts as well too. And we're getting, front delts, but we're getting majority side delts. You can see if you just watch when I lift, my gaze is literally looking, I'll show you what I'm looking at. When I'm looking in the mirror, I'm looking at my tattoo. If you look at see my tattoo on my left arm, that's what I'm looking at. Right? I'm looking at that part of my muscle. See how it kind of flares? The second I start pushing, you could see that it starts to flare up. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at that in my rear delt. I'm looking at my rear delt. I'm looking at that. I'm looking at my front delt. I'm looking at how the muscles are being contracted on both sides, and I'm seeing if they match. Does my right side look like my left side? Does my left side look like my right side? And does each rep bring out those muscles equally, right? So you can see my definition, you can obviously see the difference between my front delt and my lateral delt, in my definition. That's what I'm looking at. So again, it's a good view here where I'm literally staring. I'm not even blinking that much. I'm literally staring at what my muscles look like as I go. I wanna see them match both sides. If you cut me down the middle, I wanna make sure that both sides look the same. Then I give myself a little bit of break of look in the mirror, I look down and feel what that feels like. So I'm doing a check of what I look like, and I'm doing a check of what it feels like. And then I'm putting those two together, and you can see from top to bottom, nothing's changing. It's consistent. And then when it gets harder, I'm slowing the rep down so I can make sure that each rep is the same and I'm milking that contraction. So again, I stole this exercise from Jeff Nippert and Mike Van Wyck. I'm pretty sure I saw them both doing this. I don't know if they got it from each other. I've done this before. Again, when I don't use dumbbells as much, I put dumbbells in every once in a while. But again, doing a full dumbbell workout, I want to find a movement that's gonna keep constant tension on my rear delts, right? So if I'm doing the traditional way, if I was gonna be bent over, again, my rear delts aren't gonna feel it until I start really, starting the actual rear delt movement. Here, while I'm in this position perpendicular to the floor, my rear delts are already fired off right now. They're already on, they're already engaged. And then as soon as I start lifting, they're already tight. So all the way from the top and all the way from the bottom, there's constant tension on my rear delts. This is an absolutely awesome exercise to use. I would do this, honestly, I would only do this for rear delts. I had dumbbells only. You can do them any other way, bent over or face lying, chest support like this. That's fine. Do what you want to do. Do what feels good for you. But my suggestion is, if you're going to do a dumbbell rear delt movement, this is the way you'd want to do it if you're going to try to get the most amount of muscle hypertrophy. Again, I was kind of giving an example or showing her to not pull with the wrist so much, right? You want to feel the weight coming from the rear delt. If you start twerking your wrist, you're going to feel it in your forearm, then the fatigue is going to set in your forearm first before it's going to set in your delt. So just make sure you're keeping your wrists, fists, and elbows all in the same plane, and flex so the arm doesn't flex or extend to the elbow, and you keep the tension consistently on the rear delt. We have our close grip push-ups with the dumbbells. The dumbbells are gonna help elevate us and give us more range of motion at the bottom. That's gonna help, you can see both of us do our push-ups, that you're getting peak flexion at the bottom. That's gonna give them the most amount of stretch on the tricep. So basically my forearm is touching my bicep, and that's gonna give us the most amount of stress on this lengthened part of that lift. Right on the tricep. And again, when we're doing close grip, when you're done, you're done. The chest isn't there to help. So here, when we're pushing, we're getting to the very end, it's starting to get tiring. You'll go right to failure here, and that is it. Hey guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, guys. If you did, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share. Become able to tell like it is, transparent, vulnerable truth. And for coaching, JONNI.com. If you want to know more about my coaching, guys, book yourself a 1-hour video consult with myself. We can talk about nutrition, training, supplementation, and mental health. And at the end of the consult, I deduct $100 off any package that you pick. Until next time, you know how it is. Iron sharpens iron, progressive overload your life. In the meantime, keep dream chasing. Peace.